It's always exciting when something new comes to crafting, and today crafters of all ages have begun a love affair with stamping. Hello, I'm Kate Larson, and joining me today is Ilona Hamilton from the Stamp Affair.
Hi Kate, I'm so glad to be here today. I'm going to be showing you some creative things you can do with rubber stamps.
Now, in this video, we're going to talk about basic tips and techniques.
Yes, that's right.
Let's start with your wonderful catalog. In here we have many different designs.
Yes, there's various designs. Some have very intricate details, some are a little bit more basic. They all work for different techniques in stamping.
Some of them have actual messages.
Oh yes, we have all types of messages to, from, and
also
names.
Even names.
Yes, names. Children love to stamp out their name.
Now tell me a little bit about the stamp itself.
The stamp itself, we use very high quality rubber, which gives a beautiful impression.
And the impression that comes down onto the paper can be either black, if the pad is black, or in beautiful colors?
Whatever color you use. We have over 11 different colors of stamp pads. And we have rainbow pads also, which are nice. There are 3 different colors. If you have a small stamp, you can actually virtually use this as 3 different stamp pads, because your small stamp would just cover one color at a time.
So you would do red and then move to yellow?
Right, and then maybe blue. We also have a hot pink, turquoise, and purple rainbow pad.
Now, can you blend the colors with a larger stamp?
Yes, actually if you use a large stamp on either one of these, you get a complete rainbow effect on your paper when you stamp.
Now, the Stamp Affair has almost everything you'd need for stamping. You also have beautiful colors of embossing powder.
We have 26 different colors of embossing powder.
Now, that's a technique we're going to show a little bit later in this video.
That's right.
I'm intrigued by this pad. Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Certainly. That's a special type of stamp pad. That's an opaque pigment pad. That is what we're going to be using in our project today.
And let's take a close look at the project we're going to begin with. It's wrapping paper that you can create yourself.
Very inexpensive.
Now look here, the invitation and the envelope for the invitation and even the gift tag are all done color coordinated to plan the whole thing.
That's right.
Well, how do we begin doing something this simple?
Well, what I did was I went to the wholesale club and I got a roll of butcher paper. I went ahead and I made some pencil marks on the paper to guide me as I go along stamping. If you're very precision like you can rule it all out and draw light pencil lines that you can go back and erase later.
But when you're working with crafting, very often you can just create your own design. It doesn't
perfect
have
sometimes
to be...
isn't so perfect when you're crafting.
Right.
Well, what we're going to be using is just 2 designs, 2 stamps, and an opaque pigment pad.
That's one of those beautiful ones with the 3 colors together.
Right. And what this is, when this blends, you see how these colors have mixed in here? That's all right, because what happens is you kind of have a green here, and you might get a little bit of a purple here, and it looks beautiful. You virtually end up with a 5-color pad as opposed to just 3.
Those are really vivid colors.
Oh, they're very bright. The opaque pigment ink is a very thick ink. It's great for embossing, which again we'll talk about later, but it gives you a nice bright impression, as you'll see. You take your stamp and you just tap it on your pad lightly. And you look at it, make sure it's completely covered, so that way you don't have any parts missing after you make your impression. Stamp down, don't rock your stamp. Just press firmly and evenly. See the beautiful impression that makes in the color?
Very, very nice.
So again, tap it on your pad. And I like to just freehand it myself and just kind of look at my spacing and, okay.
Now, this truly is a project that children could be involved in. It's so easy to learn.
Oh, certainly. Certainly. Okay, there's a row of trains. We'll go ahead and we'll start in our second row with the clown. I'm going to turn it just to give the colors in different spots on him. A little bit of red in here.
Now, here's our second row.
The same thing, don't rock your stamp. That's something people have a habit of doing a lot, is they rock their stamps and they get a lot of background image. Here, actually, I'll do one just to show you. If you start rocking this, see the little marks you get here? And people say, oh, is that a terrible stamp? And really, they just need to go straight down.
Nice, firm pressure.
Right.
Now, one question about cleaning that. If you have to, do you need to clean that edges?
Yes, you do. You don't want to go from one stamp pad to a next, as well as it keeps your stamps in nice shape the next time you go to stamp.
We can show them exactly how to do that a little bit later on, Ilona.
Certainly.
This is a beginning to start with, but we have even more to show you. So stay with us on this video as we show you more projects that you can learn with stamping. What new technique with stamping are you going to show us today?
I'm going to be showing you how to use your rubber stamps without using a stamp pad.
Now that's a puzzle without a stamp pad?
Without a stamp pad.
How do we do that?
What we do is we get to color directly onto the rubber with markers.
Now, is that a water-based marker?
It's a water-based marker, so it stays moist for a very long time.
And again, in a lot of colors.
Oh, millions of colors.
Let's look at some of the beautiful projects that you've done on cards.
This is a note card done with a very intricate stamp. It takes a little bit of extra time because there is so much detailing, but look at the beautiful end result you have.
Now, again, on that one, were you using the pens to color directly
Yes, we
on
use
them?
the water-based markers to do that.
Now, look at the little bookmarks over there. That'd be a wonderful project for Boy Scouts, Cub
Girl Scouts, that's right. Yeah, it would. And quick, easy.
Yes. Now, over here, there's some wonderful gift ideas, gift tags, and what about the recipe cards? from the
Recipe
kitchen?
cards, that's right. Use your regular index cards and just dress them up, make them look like they're store-bought.
And all of that can be done by coloring right onto the pen.
Right onto the stamp.
Show me how to do it.
Okay, we've selected our iris stamp. This actually ends up being very pretty when it's done. You flip it over. You always actually start with your lighter color first, so we're going to go ahead and start with the purple. Now, what I want is I want the whole flower area to be purple. So you just literally go right over the impression area.
Now, as you're coloring that in, I'm just going to ask a couple of questions. First of
Sure.
all, can you clean this marker off exactly the same way you can?
Just like you do with your stamp pads. Yes, you
Okay,
clean them the
so-
same way.
So that's good. And what about instructions? Is this just any design, any color combination you want works?
Yes, any color, any design, any stamp.
And again,
Okay.
it looks like you're just being sure that you've covered all the raised surfaces.
Right. Now there's our purple. I'm going to use the green. I'll get the stem here. And we'll go on up to the leaves.
Now, you're working with a special marker that's just for stamping?
Well, no, these markers are actually good for anything. This is specifically a brush marker, so it's got a nice thick tip, so you can cover a lot of area in a short amount of
Okay,
time.
That's why it looks new to me.
Yeah. Any water-based marker really will work fine. Okay, now as you can see, everything is all covered in here, and I'm going to, actually one thing too, I should add, if you're working out an image, say for instance like with the floral one that we showed at the beginning, and by the time you get to one point it looks like it's a little bit dry. If you just breathe on it lightly, it re-moistens everything.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a little trick. So again, we stamp the same way. We just go straight down, apply
No
even
rocking.
pressure, no rocking. Make sure that we've covered everything. Then we lift it up.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And actually what I like to do, because an iris has a little bit of yellow in there, so I might just take my yellow marker and just kind of put a few yellow lines in there, add my own accent to it.
So you can actually do as detailed work as you want to in here
Oh,
by
sure.
adding shading.
If I wanted to go back in and color this dark purple in with a light purple, that would be perfectly fine.
So you can always add to the print after it's down onto your paper.
Oh, certainly. If you wanted to go back and trace it, maybe use glitter paints to go around it just to highlight. Or sometimes we use little sprinkles to add accent at the top. And I'm going to take my little hummingbird, and I just take my brown marker and go right over him, the same as I did the iris.
Now, these markers would dry rather quickly. This one you don't have to wait too long.
No, these
for.
are the same. These are water-based. They're all water-based. They stay wet for a good amount of time. Now, here's something I'm going to do extra. I've made my first impression here, which is going to be dark. Now, instead of coloring it again, I'm just going to go leave the light impression left from the marker. So it almost looks like he came from there and ended up over here.
Moved over.
A little bit of shadowing there, yes. Then you would just punch a hole at the top, make a little tassel, you have your bookmark.
Now, let's say that we were doing this for a whole group of, let's say, Bible school or something like that. They could even have a stamp that had their name on it if they wanted, and personalize each one.
Certainly, if they wanted to color each letter of their name a different color, they could do that with the markers.
So this is a wonderful new technique, again, using the stamps, but this time with water-based markers. So think of the many ways that you can use stamping. Ilona, would you come back and do this again and bring us another technique?
I would love to, Kate.
We're excited to show you the many ways that you can include stamping in your crafting. Now you've brought another exciting project showing yet another way to use stamps.
That's right, we're going to be doing embossing today.
Now I've really been interested in embossing, but it looks kind of difficult. If we look at the thank you card, you can see what a beautiful job you can do.
Oh, it looks very intricate, but it was done so quickly and easily.
It really is. Now the gold on there, how do you do that?
That's done with embossing powder and embossing ink, which I will be showing you today.
Okay, how do we get started on the project?
Okay, first we pick out our designs that we're going to be using. We need a dry pad and embossing ink. You just take the ink and pour it on your pad to moisten it. Then we take, in this case, I have a blank note card because we're going to be making a note card.
Okay.
I go ahead and I crease it. Then you take your stamp and you tap it lightly, just as you would on a regular stamp pad with regular ink. Then you look to make sure, see if it's all moistened through. This one over here, it's a little dry, so I think we're going to go ahead and do it again. Okay, now that's pretty wet there.
Okay.
Then you find the placing where you want the image. And again, just like we said to stamp before, you just press down evenly and firmly without rocking it. You lift it off. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a slight tint of blue, so you can tell, all right, the image is there.
I can see that.
I did that, the other thank you card that we saw, in one step, but we're going to do this in 2 steps just so you can see the difference from one to the other. Then we just tap it off just like when you were in kindergarten and used to use the glitter and glue to make Mom and Dad a Christmas card. Okay.
Now I'm hoping we can save this and use it again.
Oh yes, you'd be amazed at how far this goes. Then we just crease our paper, pour it back in, because we don't want to heat anything up or we'll have a big blop on our paper.
Now is that all there is to it, or are we going to do more?
Now we got to heat it up with the heat gun. You go real close. You can use a toaster, you can use a 100-watt light bulb.
Oh, you can see it changing, right?
It just melts together.
Now, is there a particular length of time or just until you see that change happening?
As soon as you see that it's all melted together, you're done, that quick. Now, what I did in that instance, I went ahead and I colored in with markers. So I just went ahead and I took my red marker and I colored in the rose red. And so on with the leaves, I did the same thing with the green.
Okay.
But now we're going to take our 3 roses stamp and the same thing, some embossing ink on it, check it to make sure that it's wet. Then all I did was I went around the card going half off of it. So half on the paper, half on the card.
And that's what makes the roses look like they're growing right off the edge of the paper.
Exactly. So then I went ahead and sprinkled my powder on. Shake it off. And then I heated it up the same as I did with this one.
Now, it doesn't take a great deal of heat to make it change, does it?
Actually, usually we're like 100-watt light bulb works, but like a blow dryer does not. It's not warm enough.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's our edge.
Right.
And we're going to reuse our paper.
We're going to reuse that powder, pour it back into the jar.
Let's go over here and take a look at a couple of the other projects. I wanted to ask about the picture frames. Now, are those actually done from a stamp?
That is one stamp. I just stamped on a little gift tag, and then we cut it out with an X-Acto knife and embossed it, colored it in. It was ready to go.
And how about the little people in there? Are they special to you?
Yeah, of course. They're my babies.
And again, we can look up here at some of the other ways that you can use embossing on cards to add a lot of color and detail. Now, this card up here with the different colors in it, is that just different colored powder?
It's 3 separate powders, so each face was done separately on that card.
And the brighter the color, the more interest it adds to what you're doing.
Certainly. We even embossed in this little container here, so you don't have to emboss just on paper.
So this is another innovative way to use your stamps so that you can add variety to what you're doing?
That's right.
This is a wonderful idea. I can't wait to start doing some of them myself. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be back with more separate ideas on ways to use stamps. Now, we have been talking about a lot of different ways to use the stamps, but today, you tell me, we're going to be learning a different way to use the stamp pad.
That's right. We're going to be learning a sponging technique.
Now, let's take a look over here at some of the pretty things that you have. That card is lovely.
Yes, we used 2 different color stamp pads and gave it a marble effect, kind of.
It really does, and you can use just one design, and yet your card seems full.
That's right. It enhances the background for you.
From there, we'll move down and look at the pretty one in the multicolor over there. That's a lovely one.
Yeah, that's a nice birthday card. We just use a sponging technique for a border on that one and then cut an insert to lay on the top of it.
And this is the project we're going to learn to do right now.
Right, that'll be one for us to learn today.
Well, let's get started. How do we do it?
Again, we have just our plain white note card. This time I'm not going to crease it. We're going to leave it straight.
Okay.
I just take a little piece of broken sponge, and actually, as you can see, I can get 4 different edges out of it with different colors that I've used. So in this case, we're going to be doing the water first.
Now, is that just like a kitchen sponge that you would just cut or
it's
tear?
actually a little bathtub sponge from one of my kids. And, and then with it moistened and wet, you get a better blend with the stamp pad with the ink. And then you just start going over the note card.
Now, as I look at this again, I keep thinking about the kids and how much fun they could have doing something like this.
Oh, yeah, and what a mess. But you're using a sponge so you can wipe it up real quick and easy.
Now, when we're talking about the ink from these particular pads, that's washable?
Yes, it is. It's all child safe and non-toxic.
That's important.
That's right. Okay, now I'm going to leave this area here for a little bit of grass.
Now, there's no right or wrong with sponging again either, is there?
Oh, no, not at all. So I went ahead and I extended a little bit over the crease on my card, which will carry it over in the back of the card a little bit, which is fine.
Now, you're using the exact same sponge, just turned to a different area.
I just flipped it over to another corner.
That's nice.
Okay, so now we have our whole background done and ready to be stamped. We're going to start with the fish. What I did with the fish is I tried to use the stamp like it was actually 3 stamps. The first image I did, I went ahead and I used a stamp pad. And as you can see, it's all inked. I stamped on the card.
Okay.
Then what I did is I went ahead and I cleaned it off.
Now there again, we're just using stamp cleaner.
Stamp cleaner and a soft cloth.
Okay.
Then I took my black marker. Well, I think we'll use blue for the bubbles. I wanted to just get the bubbles on here so that I can make the bubbles look like they're coming up out of the water almost. So we'll use a dark blue.
And you're not doing the fish at all now?
No, I'm not doing the fish. If you notice, there's no color on the impression area of the fish, only on the bubbles.
Okay.
Okay, and then I kind of line it up with my other bubbles. You see it's starting to bring the bubbles up a little bit. I'll color them again.
So after each stamping, you're going to go, unless you really want that lighter look, you would then put the pen over the top
Exactly,
again.
or you can shade it. Here we go. Okay, there. You see the bubbles are starting to come up away from the fish. So now we're going to go ahead and clean the stamp again. Stamp cleaner and your soft cloth. Another way, too, is actually if you can line it up on your stamp pad and just kind of let it hang off so that way you're not hitting the bubbles at all. And you can go back in and clean the bubbles off just in case you got a little bit on there. And we'll put another little fish right there. And there's no bubbles not coming out of his mouth.
Now, in that time, you just put the bubbles off the edge of the pad.
Right, I just went ahead and let them hang off the pad. I could have done it, let the bubbles on if I wanted just the bubbles and let the fish hang off, or vice versa. Here's a real easy one to do that with because there's almost a line in between there.
Right, a real
more intricate
definition.
stamp would be more difficult to do.
But they're really versatile. There's so many different ways that you can do them.
Oh, certainly. We'll take our little turtle and we'll stamp him over here like he's walking along the grass. And I think we could use one more fish.
And while you're showing us that, I'd like to look at the card over here because I see that you can color them in again using the water-soluble markers if you want to.
Certainly. Now, if I want to go back and, I think I could use a purple fish. So we can go in and we can color him with the markers.
So again, totally versatile in all of the many ways that you're able to use the same stamps and get a totally different look in what you're doing.
Certainly. If I wanted to go back and maybe put some glitter through here and, enhance it up even more, that's right.
Well, I'm hooked on stamping, I can tell you that. I'll bet you're hooked on it too. You're not running out of projects for us to learn new ways to stamp, are you?
Not yet.
Well, that's good. Before we start with today's project, you wanted to show us a little bit about borders.
Yes, I did. We have a note card over there, very simple border, but yet it's very elegant and quick and easy to do. It was one stamp that we had to just jog along the bottom of the card so we can complete the width of the card. And we just took a marker and a ruler, drew a line on either side of it, and there we had a nice, elegant note card.
Quick and easy border.
Right.
Now, if we want to go to something a little more elegant, like a beautiful set of stationery, we can actually customize our own stationery?
Oh, certainly, you can do that. What we used is a corner border on that stationery. And I didn't have the right color stamp pad that I wanted, so I just found one of my markers, found the color I liked, and went ahead, colored on the stamp, and stamped it that way.
So with the combination of all the colors in pads and all of the markers, there's just no limit to the color.
Oh, it's endless. It's endless.
Anything you want, you can do.
Yes.
Well, let's look at the project that we're going to do, because this is a very special technique, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's called masking, and the whole reason for it is to be able to put one image of the same kind on top of another, and yet not have the colors show through or the lines from the other image showing through.
Well, I'm anxious to see how to do this. Are we going to make a bookmark?
We are going to make a bookmark. Okay, first we selected our butterfly, just as we did it on that bookmark in the sample. So you have a clean stamp, you have all your stamp pads laid out, ready to go. We're going to be using various colors. So we'll use green. Okay, and then you just use a Post-it note. That works the best. You can use any piece of paper and a little bit of tape, but Post-it note is nice because it has the stickiness on the back already, and you need that little bit of stickiness. Then we would just take our scissors and go and cut all the way as close as we could around the butterfly. But there'd still be some of the stickiness here, as well as giving us a free edge that we could lift it up off of the bookmark, as you'll see why we need.
Now I'm starting to understand.
Okay. I have one all cut out here for us. So, okay, I think we'll go ahead and we'll start with the green. And you want to just have your stamp not perfectly on your bookmark, but let it go off the edge. Let it go off the free edge of the bookmark. So that way it looks like wallpaper or gift wrap. It's a nice completed piece. Just so I got paper underneath, and you can see how much of it went there. The one thing with masking or using various colors, you need to clean your stamp in between each impression, so that way you don't ruin your stamp pads by mixing the different colors on them.
And it's important to use the cleaner.
Always, always. It keeps your stamps in better shape, too. Now what we do, I have my first butterfly on here. I take my little cutout mask, and I lay it very carefully down on my stamped impression. One thing, you try to make sure that you have your edges of your Post-it note within your line of your stamped image. Otherwise, if you go over a little bit too much with your paper, you'll end up with a white gap, and they won't mask perfectly.
So when this one, the mask, actually goes on top, be sure that you can see a little color around the edge?
A small edge is fine,
okay.
Yes. I think we'll go ahead and we'll use our hot pink.
Ooh, that's pretty.
See how the green butterfly just goes right over the pink? Okay, let's go ahead and clean our stamp again.
This is really nice because you can use so many different colors and have them all show.
Exactly. Oh, you could use one or two. I just chose to use the colors. It was just nice and bright and cheery looking. Again,
now, there's no problem in putting that mask right down over the last color.
Not at all.
Immediately.
Right away. Exactly.
That's
fine.
Good.
Oh, I think we'll use our purple here. Again, you always make sure your stamp is covered with ink before you stamp.
Our little butterflies are flying all the way up the bookmark.
Now here's a little bit of an example. I must have had my Post-it note just a little bit past my image, so now I've got a little bit of a white gap. But you could go back and fill that in with marker or, whatever you would choose to do.
So
with
the
it.
mask actually went a little higher.
It went a little bit higher.
Okay,
so.
I understand. So we're just going to keep our colors moving right on up the side of the bookmark?
Right on up the side, that's right. And we'll go ahead and we'll...
And this same masking project can be done on any of the other projects that we've used, bookmarks or note cards or anything
Oh, anything,
at all?
wrapping paper or anything, stationery, whatever you would like to use it on.
Well, I like this technique. This is masking, and you can use it with your stamping and the crafting that you're going to do. Ilana, you're not out of ideas. You'll be back with more?
I'll be back again.
Now we have a wonderful project to show today. Many of your projects are really pretty, and this one's no exception.
No, this one is very, very elegant looking.
What do we call this? It almost has dimension like the butterflies are flying.
Exactly. Today we're working on 3D.
And they really do look like they're going to lift right off of our beautiful card there.
Right.
Is it difficult to do?
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Let's get started. How do we start out?
Okay, again, we have our blank note card. And this time we're going to be working with the card this way, but I'm not going to crease it yet either. So the first thing you do is you want to emboss your butterflies. You use your embossing ink and your dry pad. And we used gold embossing powder. Oh.
Going to scoot away from you.
And then after we get the embossing powder on, we heat it up. Then we went back with our markers, and we went ahead and we colored in the butterflies with all various colors to make it look really pretty.
Now we're working with two different sizes, this larger butterfly.
Right, and then one set of 3 smaller butterflies.
And they're all on this one stamp.
Right.
The little ones are all on the same stamp. Okay.
Right.
So really it's just two stamps,
Two stamps,
for those.
that's right. So then here we went ahead, and here's our pieces that we had embossed, and we then cut them out, we colored them in. So what I'm going to do is take our butterflies, and I just use an ordinary glue stick. I kind of put a little fold in the butterfly there, kind of work it so you've got somewhat of a flat edge. Then you just look at your card and, kind of figure out where exactly you would like your butterfly placed. You can just stick it on there. And don't worry about if you press the butterfly down too much, because you can always bend it up later when the glue is dry.
And bring those edges up.
Bring those edges up, right, for that 3-dimensional effect. But I like to give a little bit of a crease at least at first.
And again, just to review this, the first step for this one is to actually do the embossing.
Right. That's
and we're
the very
doing
first
this on a
step.
separate piece. It's not done on the card
You're
itself.
right, actually, I should have mentioned that. We just take a separate piece of the same type of weight paper and we emboss on that. And then we can cut it out from there. So that way we're not ruining the note card we're actually going to be working on.
So separate embossing on each individual one, then coloring.
Right.
Now we're going to make them fly.
And these 3 little butterflies, they're all facing different ways. So what I kind of do is work on each one of them to try to bring up their wings. So they all look like they're kind of flying up in the air there.
And we're going to leave those in one piece. It would be a little more difficult because they're so tiny to do each one
Certainly.
individually.
With a little bit of white in between there, you'll never know because you're placing it on a white card anyway. Okay. Now that's all ready. Now we're ready to go to what I used was an opaque pigment gold pad. It's actually a metallic gold. It's very close to the embossing powder.
That is really pretty.
Yeah.
We're adding some real glitz to it this time.
Okay, so we can see our stamp is covered real well.
And again, we need to be sure that every raised edge has plenty of ink from the stamp.
Exactly, or you're going to end up with a skipped spot on one of your lines or your letters. We'll just give it one more little tap. And then, so I think this one will do off to the side a little bit. And again, you don't rock your stamp, you just press lightly and evenly on your block of wood. When your confidence down, you just lift off carefully. Then you're ready to crease your card. And it's done.
Now, is this the stamp that takes about 5 minutes to dry?
Yes, it is. That's the pigment pad. So you want to be very careful. You don't want to touch it or it will smear. But within 10 minutes, it's ready to go. You can touch it.
So just that quickly, we've created our dimensional card. Now, there are other ways to add dimension to the stamping that you do.
Exactly. Cutting out the pieces is not the only way.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the other projects that have that dimension to them.
Okay, one thing here I have with the unicorn is I have this, it's like a puffed paint. After you apply it and it dries, you heat it up, the same with your heat gun like we do the embossing. And that's what I've done on here. I went ahead and I shaded, I sponged, I stamped regular, I had used some glitter paint, I used a little sprinkles, and then I also used the puff on it. Heated it up, voila, there was my 3D effect.
My goodness, and that's using many of the techniques that we've talked about.
Yes.
All together in the same picture there.
That's right.
Now, I just wanted to ask again, with this liquid applique, you do heat it.
Yes, you do. After it's dried, you let it dry for approximately 24 hours, then you heat it up.
My head is absolutely swimming with ideas, Ilona. Thank you so much for all the wonderful projects that you've brought to us using stamping. I'm sure you'll be doing stamping of your own. We've learned basic stamping, stamping with markers, embossing, sponging, masking, and 3D stamping. And there's still more to come. If you're ready for a stamp affair, be sure to look for all of the Stamp Affair products in your local craft and variety stores. If you'd like more information about Stamp Affair products, write to the address that you see on the screen. Why don't you begin your own Stamp Affair today?